Mr. Harris was in his late 60s, wise, calm, and quietly observant. He had built the hotel from the ground up, turning a small family inn into one of the most respected establishments in town. But lately, something had changed. Guest complaints had risen, staff turnover was increasing, and a few loyal customers had left saying, "The warmth is gone." So one morning, sitting in his home office, Mr. Harris decided to see it for himself. He called his assistant and said quietly, "I want to visit the hotel, not as the owner, but as a guest, as an ordinary man." He had a plan, a simple yet clever test. He would disguise himself as an elderly man in a wheelchair, checking in under a false name. He wanted to see who would show kindness and who would show cruelty. A few days later, a taxi stopped at the grand entrance of the Grand Haven. Rain drizzled over the shining pavement as a frail old man in a wheelchair was gently rolled inside. He looked tired. His clothes were plain. His movements were slow. The receptionist, Emily, looked up with a kind smile. "Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the Grand Haven. How can I help you today?" Her tone was warm, not fake, not forced, just genuine. But before she could continue, the hotel manager, Mr. Craig, walked over. He was tall, sharply dressed, and had the kind of confidence that bordered on arrogance. He glanced at the man in the wheelchair, then at Emily, and said in a low voice, "Make it quick, Emily. We've got VIP guests arriving soon. Don't hold up the line." Emily hesitated but stayed professional. She checked the man's reservation. Leonard Gray. "Everything's ready, Mr. Gray. We've prepared a ground floor room for your comfort." The old man nodded and smiled faintly. "Thank you, young lady. You're very kind." But when Emily asked for help moving his luggage, the manager sighed. "We're short-staffed. He can wait." The old man looked at him, calm, patient, and quiet. He didn't argue. He just observed. When Mr. Gray, or rather Mr. Harris, reached his room, he took out a small notebook. He started writing. Every detail, every expression, every act of kindness, or lack of it. Later that afternoon, he called the front desk for assistance with ordering dinner. Emily picked up immediately, her tone still polite. But when she transferred the call to the manager, his tone shifted. "Sir, the kitchen's busy. Maybe you could come down yourself or wait an hour." "I'm in a wheelchair," the old man replied softly. A pause, then coldly, "We'll see what we can do." An hour passed, nothing arrived. Finally, Emily appeared at his door herself, carrying a tray of soup and bread. "I'm so sorry for the delay, sir. The kitchen was backed up, so I brought this myself." The man looked at her, eyes glistening. "You didn't have to." "It's okay," she smiled. "Everyone deserves to be treated well, no matter how busy we are." The next morning, the hotel lobby buzzed with business travelers and tourists. Mr. Gray rolled in quietly, waiting near the front desk. He overheard the manager scolding Emily. "You wasted time on a nobody last night instead of handling the VIPs. That's not how we impress important guests." Emily stood firm. "Every guest is important, sir." Her voice trembled, but her conviction didn't. The manager sneered. "Idealism doesn't pay the bills, Emily. You'll learn." Mr. Gray watched the scene unfold. He saw the arrogance, the pride, the complete lack of empathy. He noted every word. 2 days later, Mr. Harris decided it was time to end the act. He called the front desk and asked to speak to the manager. When Craig arrived, he was impatient as always. "Yes, what is it?" "You're checking out today, right?" "Yes," the old man said softly. But I'd like to meet the owner before I leave. Craig chuckled. You meet the owner? That's not how it works here, sir. The old man smiled faintly. Oh, I think he'll want to meet me. The manager shrugged and turned to leave, until two security guards entered, followed by the hotel's senior accountant. Mr. Harris, the accountant said warmly, it's good to see you. We didn't know you were visiting. The color drained from the manager's face. Mr. Harris? As in, the owner? The old man's voice deepened, steady now. Yes, Mr. Craig. That would be me. The lobby went silent. The once arrogant manager now stood frozen. His face turned pale. His confidence shattered. So, sir, I didn't realize. You didn't have to, Mr. Harris interrupted. I came here to see how guests are treated when no one is watching. He turned to Emily, who stood in shock. Emily, you showed compassion when it wasn't convenient. You treated a stranger with dignity. That's the kind of heart this hotel was built on. Then he turned back to Craig. And you forgot what hospitality means. You looked at people and saw rank, not humanity. Craig stammered. Please, sir, I can explain. No need, Mr. Harris said firmly. You're relieved of your position, effective immediately. Gasps echoed through the lobby. Craig lowered his head, realizing he destroyed his own career with arrogance. Turning to Emily, Mr. Harris smiled. This hotel needs people who care, people who see beyond uniforms and titles. From today, you'll take over as hotel manager. Emily's eyes widened. Sir, me? Yes, you. You earned it not with words, but with heart. Tears filled her eyes. The staff applauded. Even the guests clapped, realizing they had just witnessed something extraordinary. A living lesson in kindness, humility, and integrity. In the days that followed, the story spread. From the kitchen to the town's cafe, from the lobby to social media. People talked not about the firing, but about the lesson. Because in a world obsessed with status, an old man in a wheelchair reminded everyone what real character looks like. Mr. Harris never told the press. He didn't need publicity. He only cared that the Grand Haven had found its heart again. Emily ran the hotel with grace, respect, and humility. She trained new staff not just to serve, but to care. And sometimes late at night, she'd see Mr. Harris quietly visiting the lobby, smiling at how alive the place had become again. We live in a world where it's easy to judge people by what they wear, what they drive, or how they walk. But the true measure of a person is how they treat someone who can do nothing for them. Kindness costs nothing, yet it changes everything. So the next time you see someone struggling, remember Mr. Harris, remember Emily, and remember that a little compassion can turn ordinary moments into unforgettable stories. This was the man in the wheelchair, a hotel owner's lesson in kindness, a reminder that humility builds empires and kindness makes them last. For more interesting stories like this, kindly hit subscribe, like, and share.